Hello there, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the MNmaxed podcast. My name is Tyler, and I'm the current GM here at MNmaxed. I'd like to say thank you all very much for tuning in so far. We've been having a blast learning Pathfinder 2 and sharing that experience with you all. We'd like to hear what you think about the new system, whether you're a convert from D&D 5th Edition and this is your first Pathfinder experience, or if you're coming from 1st Edition and listening, or what your thoughts about our stories so far may be. You can email us at minmaxed@gmail.com, or you can find us on Facebook and Twitter at minmaxed. The thing I want to talk about this week before we get started is character death. At the end of the reclamation of Shiny Stone, Miklik was brutally cut down by the hand of the menacing Halid. As a GM, I have many feelings about character death, and you'll get to hear about some of them more in depth as I continue to kill all of your favorite min-maxed characters. Sorry about that. Not sorry about the statement, but just about the glee. I'm the kind of GM who likes to run his combats as close to the book as I can. I do this for a few different reasons, but the important one for me is to display a level playing field of trust at the table. I focus this a lot on combat specifically because it is one of the most dangerous parts of the game as far as the player's characters are concerned. And I also make those really big dice rolls in front of my groups. Dice have this beautiful way of telling a story on their own, things that you just don't expect. Often I find that some of the best moments in games are the unexpected and sometimes emotional results of a dice roll. It's not something you can plan for, it just happens. And sometimes the story is dealing with and working with those major successes and those major failures. And that's kind of what life is like. You react to the randomness delivered onto you by the universe. It's got this poetic thing that I really like. And I'm going to stop rambling now. I, again, really appreciate you joining us this week. But now it's time for one of my favorite things, David reading the recap.
A recap of Session 7. We try to revive Daru and it's an utter faff. We almost end up killing him. Eventually we find a healing potion and everything turns out alright. Except for Miklik, who's still dead. We bury him in a pond. Varu and Plum discuss plans to sell all of Halid's stuff one day and buy a ship named the Miklik. We exit the tunnel toward town, takes a few minutes to get back. Vorn goes to get drunk. Plum and Daru find Turnip King Rolf and explain what happened. Things go poorly. Rolf wants to arrest Finnick. All hell breaks loose in the feed mill and Tyler tries to keep too many NPCs straight. Everyone decides it's still our fucking problem and we all go our separate ways. The next morning, things go well as Plum's old parrot friend returns to him. Then two mysterious strangers arrive. One's a dwarf, who seems suspiciously to be played by the same person who played Miklik.
You guys go ahead. By the time you get back inside, Amora has your food. She's actually got some sausages and eggs. A pretty hearty breakfast. There are mashed turnips. Covered in some sort of like chicken gravy, perhaps. Some bread.
Barnacle raises his hand, be like, "I guess I'm staying. Can you get me some too?"
Yeah, no problem. And Mora goes back. A moment later, Finnick comes back out and here you go.
Thanks, Finnick.
And then Finnick kind of looks at Plum and goes, "Do I need to bring another plate?"
Miklik's eaten out tonight, out in the wilderness.
Give me another deception check, you son of a bitch. You keep lying to this poor goblin.
I get a 24.
You keep doing it really fucking well. Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll just talk to him later then.
Yeah.
Finnick kind of like hops back to the kitchen. He practically skips back.
Why hasn't anybody else told him?
I thought you said Miklik was dead.
Yeah, he is, but I don't want to break the poor little guy's heart. I don't think he's ever had a goblin friend before.
Plum's just a heartless bastard with nearly everything, but he just can't bring himself to break Finnick's heart.
He associates it with Miklik. It's another goblin. He feels bad.
That's fair.
I tried not to let Tamley know that Bort was doing nefarious things, and that's what got him killed, but that happened too.
Speaking of Temley comes in. She looks over at the table, and she visibly takes a calming breath. She walks over. Plum,
Hey there, Tamley.
I'm sorry about yesterday.
Well, I appreciate it. All's forgiven. No worries here. I'd take that paper back, though, if you still got it. I think it's going to be needed for evidence.
I do. I have something else for you, too.
Okay.
She pulls out a book. It's definitely a ledger it's transactional, you can see. And Bort has a couple of different obvious clients that he has here. You know, he brings in things for the general store at the feed mill, and it's the transaction is labeled with Delma's name very plainly. Everything is very meticulously written out and itemized, except for about 14 years ago, you see that there are some very vague transaction that happens once a year when he comes to Etrin's Folly. And the delivery is labeled reagents, and the recipient is H. And there are pretty vast sums of gold being exchanged. And Temley goes, I've been looking at this note, and I wanted to look through Bort's books, because I just needed to be sure. It seems as though Bort's been dealing with this Halid creature for some time now, underneath my nose.
Well, he's making good money doing it. I don't blame him.
It's very good money. So, I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's okay. You know, we've all got our past. We've all got the things that we've got to do to keep food on the table. But I appreciate you bringing this to our attention. We'll certainly use it in our further investigations to get Rolf to let us all leave here.
I thank you. There's definitely something going on here, and this V is doing something. And I don't know how Bort was wrapped into all of this or what occurred there, but I need to know. For closure.
Well, we'll do everything we can to figure it out, Tamley. All right.
I'd be more than willing to pay you for your services.
You got more of that Kionan wine?
We actually do. Do you want another bottle?
Done deal. Yes, please.
I'll have Ulf bring you a case.
I show up out of nowhere and say, someone's got a bottle.
You're sitting at the table that she's talking to you at. I figured you just have your head on the table. A bottle? Bottle?
There's a bowl of what was food in front of him. Then it was refilled with vomit. His face was then in it as he fell asleep. And now he woke up.
We don't feel like a half-orc can hold his... Like, why is he always throwing up?
Because he drinks that much.
That much.
He's a half-orc.
I was gonna say we're talking like he's drinking hard liquor. He's drinking hard liquor like it's beer.
And I doubt his constitution score is that high.
Also, as we just determined, I think he is just now becoming an alcoholic. So he's learning. He's learning.
All right.
My third level is going to be an alcoholism.
That's a class. I'll homebrew it for you, buddy. You'll be fine.
Drunken master?
Drunken druid.
Yeah, drunken druid. Just take the drunken dedication feats. Temley, she quick bows her head, and here, I'll allow you to take the ledgers. When we're done with them, I would like to take them back. There's a lot of information here that I need to make sure I keep to...
Of course.
Keep the caravan going, but here's the note back as well.
Much appreciated, and, you know, we'll figure this all out, Temley.
I'll have Ulf bring you a case of the Keon.
Thank you, Temley.
Of course. And she walks out.
That wine?
Sounds like you guys have been having some adventures.
Yeah, we lost a man last night. It was quite harrowing, really. But we're all still here, except for him. Care to join us? We could use another man to replace him. You seem smart. You seem like a dwarf. You seem like you're played by the same guy.
You seem like a dwarf. I'm searching for reasons here.
That's pretty observant. I am a dwarf. I don't know if I can be away from Nawala that long.
Nawala. I knew I'd find out her name.
So what is it exactly that you do, Varnak? You know, what class are you?
Oh, you know, I like to range and stuff.
For fuck's sake, you guys. You bastards.
I feel like we need to redo like all of this.
You guys take yourselves too seriously.
Maybe it might work out for us to team up for a while.
Well, any help we can get would be appreciated. To be fair, we're kind of surrounded by idiots in this place.
What was that?
Not you, Varn. I like you.
I'd pass back out my bowl vomit.
Notice I didn't even roll a deception check on that.
Noala and I, we've kind of been watching over Etrin's Folly for a while.
Oh, really? What, can you tell me more? What's going on? Why do they call this place Plaguestone after all?
So why don't I exposition for you then real quick. Plaguestone is what they called the short round stone thing in the center of town.
Yeah.
This is shortly after the Goblin Blood Wars. A really nasty plague came through town, and it killed off nearly half of the residents. The stone was used for people who had the plague would come to the stone, and they would drop coin, silver and copper, into the slot in the middle of the stone, which would be filled up with vinegar to cleanse or clean off the coins that would get dropped into it. And the little bowl-shaped cutout on the side of the stone is where people would put food. So basically, the plague stone is where everybody who had the plague would come to the stone, drop off their coin, and pick up food.
Seems incredibly unsanitary.
Yeah.
They were just looking for a way to help feed their friends and family without contracting the plague themselves.
So yeah, Varnak explains that to you.
How tragic.
What about the Goblin War?
The Goblin Blood Wars? Oh, yeah, I don't know if you want to know about those. It's where Noala and I met.
Killing goblins?
Yes, exactly. We were in a unit together. That's really all I want to say about that right now.
Alright, don't need to pry.
So, what is it that you and Noala do now? You say you watch over Plaguestone, or, excuse me, Etrin's Folly?
From a distance, yes.
Any particular reason?
I'm here because she's here. Her reasons are her own.
You got a thing for her, or?
No, we just went through a lot together in the wars. Lots of our unit died. There's not many of us left. We had to stick together.
Fair enough. Well, an old military hand. Again, any assistance that you can render, we'd appreciate in these circumstances that we're placed in. Maybe even share a bit of the wine with you.
Oh, I don't drink.
I don't trust this guy already.
Did too much of that after our unit members died.
Maybe you need to have an intervention with our Born friend here.
A sobriety intervention?
Can't say I know him that well yet,
A
so...
lot of people here that love you, alright, Born? Just, you're hurting us.
No, I thought it was an intervention for
To get him
Varnak.
to drink?
To get him to drink. Yeah, a sobriety intervention. Well, let's eat our meal and then let's go see Noala and burn these wolf corpses and see what she wants to say.
Yeah,
All right.
Once everybody says they're done, I'll take them out to Noala.
Sounds good. You guys walk through sections of forest here. Yeah, the clearing's not very far from the town itself, but she has a small fire that's burning. She's dragging some of the wolf corpses to the flame. She comes up, you see, she gets to you, and she kind of throws her hood back and kind of reveals she is definitely an elf. I just showed a picture of Noala to the party. Tell me what you see.
See that I'm about to make a new half-elf character from my child.
She is indeed an elf. Green eyes, a green glowing gem on her forehead, and her hood, or perhaps her hair, it's difficult to say, somehow seems to fade into green leaves. And she's wearing a dark hood, like a monk's hood, but not the poison, like an actual monk's hood.
As you kind of watch her drag the wolf corpses over to the fire, you notice that she's seems to be avoiding use of her right hand, which is entirely covered in a really oddly shaped leather gauntlet.
When Varnak sees her dragging it, he'll run over to grab it for her.
Vernak goes and takes the wolf corpse from Noala and starts dragging it in there. She kind of looks back at you and she goes, These wolves aren't the first, and I'm afraid they won't be the last. She begins to look around the forest, and she goes, she kind of motions to the trees around you, and she says, the forest itself is turning sour. Plants and trees are withering, bearing bitter fruit that sickens and kills those who eat it. If you've been out to the old orchard, you've seen it. The blight is growing, and I need your help to stop it. Would you be willing to assist?
Well, call me crazy here, but we've just learned that for 14 years, old Borty there was supplying reagents to Halid and his accomplice V. We also know that Halid had a very strange mutagen on him, one that our druid was able to tell had something extra in it that we can't quite decipher. Do you think maybe all these things are connected?
I don't know anything about this V that you mention.
Sounds like weird alchemical experiments to me.
I don't know much about the alchemical either. All I know is that the forest seems to be getting worse. Although now that you mention it, how long?
14 years.
I don't keep track of time quite that rigidly. I feel like, maybe 14 seasons have passed since I've seen the first signs of it.
This plot's getting as thick as old Rolf's brain.
It seems unlikely that this is a coincidence. There is a den nearby that these wolves actually came from, and it is surrounded and filled with this blight. Would you accompany Vernak and I to go and see if you think that this alchemical reagent that you were talking of may be causing the blight?
We're in so deep at this point, I think, why not?
Well, thank you. I do appreciate that. I know Varnak and I are very concerned about the spread. It seems to be getting worse within the last few seasons, and I am afraid that if we do not do something to combat it, Etrin's Folly is doomed to die, doomed once more, and I don't believe that I can save it from this one.
I'm in. What do you think, Daru?
I mean, we're here anyway, so yeah.
Varn?
Passed out.
So you made it there and then just laid down and went to sleep?
Yeah.
Getting to the spot was just really difficult.
Yeah. I looked down at Vorn and say, I can speak for him. I think he's in. He just needs a little bit of time.
I raise one hand, and drop it.
Yeah, that's our friend Vorn.
Are you sure he'll be helpful?
Oh yeah. He's very helpful when he's not completely drunk. Just as long as he's, well, hold on, let me rephrase. He's very helpful in all stages of drunkenness up until blackout. So as long as we keep him pre-blackout, doesn't matter how drunk he is, pre-blackout, lots of help, lots of heals, very good guy.
So we wait for him to get better then?
Yeah, I think it's probably best. His best friend did just die yesterday,
I knew him for 24 hours. He was the greatest goblin.
So you guys decide that you're going to let Born sober up a little bit. Who goes back to town?
I mean, I'm walking the guy. That's where the old man is, right?
Yeah. I got to ask, who is going to...
It's just Daru, dude. It's just
Daru? It's just fucking Daru?
I cannot imagine, with Plum's personality that I have in my head, I cannot make him care.
He just doesn't give a shit.
And
No.
Daru also doesn't care, but does this
But he's a champion. He's a redeemer. He's got to do this. Take one for the team.
And I don't see why Varnak would go. I mean,
to make it so I'm not as bored.
he wasn't part of this agreement to do. I'm trying to think of a reason why he would offer up to go.
Well, do you guys know this guy's about to give me some sick ass loot? Let's go.
Let's do this. All right, so then we're gonna do a quick Daru quest here.
The moment everyone's been waiting for.
Yeah, right. Daru gets back to town. You head into the feed mill. It's probably mid-morning at this point. Delma is outside when you come up. Oh, Daru, perfect timing. Are you still willing to take my father out?
I would want nothing else to do.
That's fantastic. I really appreciate that, Daru. Thank you. Hold on, let me go get him. Follow me. Follow me.
Do you need a deception roll for that?
So Delma takes you over to her home. It's only a couple of houses down from the feed mill. I'm going to pull up the town map here so you can kind of see the path that you're going to end up taking. So at the center of town, you kind of see the feed mill. Delma's house is off one of the houses that's just north of the feed mill. She goes, I do really appreciate this. It just, he's has a difficult time getting around. He's not necessarily senile or anything like that, but he can get a little cranky sometimes. So, don't take anything he says personally, please. It's just
It's to kill an old man.
redeem an old.
I will lose my champion powers right now and become a peasant.
Kill this.
This guy shit talks me.
So she ends up going back inside and inside her house. She goes, "I'll be right back. Be right back." She brings out a man in it really is just a rickety wheelchair that seems to have been fashioned from the back of an old cart. But this is Targan Falst. Delma comes out and, Father, this is Daru. Daru will be taking you out on your morning walk. He goes,
Is it a morning walk or a morning roll? Like, will he be walking?
No, I'll be rolling. You'll be walking.
All right.
Father,
Am I to
be nice.
push you?
Yeah? How else am I supposed to roll?
Oh, it's not like they're not that advanced to have the...
It's not like a wheelchair. No. It's got handles in the back. Take me north.
I take the man north.
He walks. First, you have to kind of walk by the Plaguestone. And he goes, "Do you know anything about the town?"
I'd love to hear it.
That sounds like sarcasm, you little shit.
It wasn't meant to be shit.
I don't care. No, this is where the people who were affected by the plague got their food from. It was a dark time.
Your family avoided it?
No. My brother died. It was difficult. Turn here, points to the right, start heading north. He's kind of got to go through the north side of town. I've kind of mentioned a couple of times north end of town is really dilapidated, run down compared to the next. Kind of walk through the north side of town and goes, "This is where the plague hit the worst. Now nobody with money lives up here. This is where the poor folk live."
Is it noticeable? The poor people in the turnip farm village?
Yeah. They're really poor. You can keep rolling them north out of town here. Just on the north side of town, there's a path. Small path that goes on the right. Go, take me on the Drunken Shepherd's Trail.
I go straight.
That's where I walk. No, not that way. No, that's leaving town. Turn around.
I play with him just a hair longer.
Yeah, come on,
Then
you
I turn
dumb fuck. Turn around. Turn around.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
stupid.
I turn around.
Do you want to hear about the story of the Veterans Folly or not?
Yes, continue.
The plague killed the town. We mostly avoided the Goblin Blood Wars. That was really off further to the west. There's a witch that everybody suspected of spreading the plague. Silwith was her name. Silwith. She had a little daughter named Vilry. Silwith died of the plague. We're pretty sure that she ended up killing Father Bolgrist.
Tell me more about this Vilrith.
Vilrith? Silwyn's daughter. I don't know where she went. She left town shortly after her mother died. Silwith. She was a witch.
Is the daughter a witch? You gotta know something, old guy.
The daughter left town. I don't know enough about her. She stuck around in Silwith's home for a few years afterwards.
Where would I find Silwith's home?
I don't even remember where she lived. Somewhere in the north end of town. They didn't have a lot of money. As you remember, that's where all the poor folk live.
Yeah, alright, tell me about it. Ugh.
Yeah, if you had any coin, you live in the south side of town. Especially now.
You know anything about acid spewing dogs?
Nah. Delma told me about it on our last walk.
See anything like that back during the plague?
No, not really. Just people dying. Friends dying. Brother dying. Lots of people died. It's the feed mill. It's the only thing keeping the town alive. Good old Delma running the feed mill. I opened it 50 years ago. Me and my brother. Now he's dead.
You said that.
Did I?
Yes.
I forgot.
So we take a left up here?
Yes, no, yes, take. Wait, no, not that left, not
Into
that
the
left.
fields?
No, don't go to the fields. There used to be sheep fields. Last herd left years ago. No, what was I talking about? The Father Bolgrist?
Yes.
We're coming up on the old shrine here soon, the old shrine. It's not been much for religion, folk in Veterans Folly. Not since Father Bolgrist died. Not since Silwith. I think Silwith put the plague upon the father.
Did it start with him?
No, everybody was blaming Silwith. She was a witch, you see.
Yep.
Always creating their fancy potion concoctions, trying to convince people that it would cure their ails. What did it do? It just killed people. They got the plague from her.
You sure she wasn't trying to help?
Some people thought that. I didn't. She caught the plague and died too. Only right. Only right. You start coming up to the old shrine here. It's in this middle of this copse of oak trees. The shrine is currently dedicated to Gazra. Father Borgeth held a lot of ceremonies out here. Haven't had many festivals or ceremonies since Borgeth died. Druids used to gather along the shrine long ago.
I know a druid.
Yeah? What's he do?
He's kind of disgusting. He drinks.
Oh, doesn't sound like any druid I know.
He's unique.
Give me a perception check.
You actually see Varnak at Gozra's shrine.
Oh, you're there. I got a 15.
15 on your perception. So, Varnak, you're there?
Yeah, Varnak worships Torag and Gozra.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Greetings there, dwarf.
What are you doing here?
Dwarf Ranger, I've seen you round town.
Just on our morning
How are you
walk.
doing, sir?
Feeling reminiscent. Varnak, if you're there too, give me a perception check.
I get a 15.
You guys hear this small sound. It seems to be getting louder. It's coming from north of the shrine.
I hear it.
Go
Yeah.
investigate.
And it's getting louder. As soon as Vernak, you go to like move around and you look into the woods and you see that there are 4 pretty damn big, like almost mosquitoes. Give me a nature check. I'm assuming you can do that, right?
I get a 16.
Okay. This is for recall knowledge on this. These are blood seekers.
Terrifying mosquito.
Yes, they
So
are.
what's tiny, like a basketball?
All familiars are tiny size, so it gave the example of like a raven or a rabbit or, something like that.
So this
Okay,
looks
so the size of a standard bird.
Yeah, it's about the size of a bird.
the largest known insect in the world.
Yeah, they're big, right? They're pretty damn big, and they're starting to like angrily hover around, like you're encroaching in on their territory. You know, bloodseekers are notoriously territorial. You think that if you don't leave soon or right away, that they're going to attack you.
If they're gonna seek out my blood.
Like that. Yeah.
How fast can I roll this man?
I would say you could probably roll him your speed.
Oh, he's gonna go for a ride.
Running him. So what do you guys do?
Are you leaving?
I mean, are you fighting? I'm not just gonna leave you there. I can't let some dwarf die to some bloodsuckers.
What do I know about these like the way I think of it, or Varnak was gonna think of it, is he doesn't want anything stopping other people from being able to come to the shrine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you.
Varnak, you know that people don't really come to this shrine. You're the only one.
Well, still, this is pretty close to town.
Well, I am people, so
I am people. I want to come to my shrine.
so there's somebody else here to help me.
Are we assuming that I re-equipped?
I mean, I would say probably, yeah. You ranged out into the wilderness to go.
Because I'm not about to punch some bugs.
You could. That'd be fun. Well, half the party. Roll for initiative.
What's the old man doing? Has he seen these things this close to town? What's his thoughts?
Oh, he's going to roll for initiative.
One of the bloodseekers that's kind of hanging out on the tree line, the one on the other side of the rock from you, he starts making his way around. He takes his action to come up behind you. It's his first action, and I guess flying is still striding technically. But then he is going to he's gonna strike at you with one of his legs, and he's gonna get a 12 to hit you.
That is a miss.
So then he is going to do it again and get a 14 to hit you.
No. That is
And this one swings at you twice, misses you. Another one that's on the other side of this rock here also buzzes up to you, and he does the same thing. Gets a 16.
That is a miss.
16's a miss, okay. And he's going to attempt again. Wow, rolling like shit. Gets a 10 to hit.
That's a miss.
That's a miss. Daru, you're up.
Old man, stay here.
There, what's going on?
Don't you see?
See what?
Giant basketball-sized mosquitoes. Oh, he doesn't know what a basketball is. Bird-sized mosquitoes.
Where'd you go? My eyesight ain't so good no more.
I'll roll them up then, shit. Just so he can see the battle.
Oh, shit!
I'll stop him right here.
Oh, shit! Stop him like 10 feet away from the action.
Yeah, I mean, if he could tank one for me, all the better.
He pulls out his stick.
I'll hand him the
fucking cane with him. He's like, fuck, don't come near me.
Alright, so I will swing at this bird-like mosquito.
You're currently flanking it with Vernak.
I hit it with a 17 question.
17 does hit, yes. Go ahead and do your damage.
I hit him with a 6.
You completely knock this one out of the hair with your hammer. Just
Gotta show this old man I'm not an idiot.
all right, Dara, that was your first action to stride up. Second action to strike. What do you do with your third action?
I had to make 2 movements.
Oh, you had to
That
make
was
two.
my third action.
Oh, okay, got
Double.
it. Then that's going to come up to the next Bloodseeker. He's going to fly up to you, Daru. He's a little perturbed that you ended up just killing his mate right out. Gets an 18 to hit you.
Yeah, no, I have 19. Then no.
Then he'll make another strike. This one will absolutely miss with a 16. All right, then if that's the case, the next one's going to come up, and he's going to buzz up to Vernak. Vernak. It's going to take me a while to get that. Ooh, 24 to hit? No, sorry, 22 to hit?
Yeah, absolutely.
22 hits? Okay, nice. You're not actually going to take any damage, but it's going to attach itself to you.
Sounds
And-
terrifying.
It's going to kind of start sucking blood from you, and you're going to take 1 point of persistent bleed damage. You'll take that persistent point of bleed damage at the end of your next round. But he's going to use his third action to drain blood, and that's going to deal 3 damage to you. And you are currently drained 1.
It's like a -1 to everything.
Drained. Take a status penalty equal to your drained value on constitution-based checks, such as fortitude saves. Lose hit points equal to your level times the drained value, and your maximum hit points are reduced by the same amount.
Okay, so your maximum hit points are reduced by 1, and any constitution-based rolls or DCs. So your attacks and everything else are good then. Then yeah, it's your turn.
Varnak will... I'll swing at the one that's on top of me, I guess.
Yeah, you can do that. It's considered flat-foot while it's attached to you.
Well, we'll continue last week's wonderful combat rolls and roll a 2.
A 10 will miss.
I will use my second action to use my ability Hunt Prey. That's
Okay.
1 action. It gives me +2 on checks to seek him or to track him. But the major thing is when it comes to my other hunter ability, which is called Flurry, if I use an agile weapon in my multiple attack, I only have a -2 on my second attack. So I will attack him with my my second weapon.
You didn't have either of your weapons drawn going into this though, did you?
No, I did not, but I have quick draw.
So with your third action then, you quick draw.
So third action, quick draw. So yeah, his like weapons are like on him, and he just like one fluid motion draws it and like slashes it with it, and missed the first attack. And then the second one, he draws his second weapon, and brings it up and attempts to smash it with his hammer.
What's your first weapon?
My first weapon is a battle axe.
Okay, and then your second one is?
My offhand weapon is a light hammer.
Okay, got it. What'd you get to hit?
So on my second attack, I actually rolled a 19, so I
Nice.
get 25 total.
25. That is a critical hit because it is currently flat-footed.
Okay, so critical hit, that's basically I roll the damage twice, right?
Yep. Add your static twice.
So a total of 15 damage.
You absolutely smash this one into little bloody bits, and you get some of your own blood on you too. That sucked it out already.
Gross. Okay, and now I have to make that's the end of my turn, so I have to make a flat check 15.
Yep, flat 15 check or take the 1 persistent bleed damage.
Well, I take the 1 no matter what, right?
Oh yeah, you're right.
And I do roll a 17 against the bleed effect.
Nice. So you stop the persistent bleed damage, Just gotta take a little part of your cloak and just like plug that hole with it real quick.
Vernak has much more promising rolls than Miklik ever did.
Already
It didn't start out very well, but I rolled a 2 to start with, but
making it up for it real quick though.
turned it around with a 19 afterwards. So
So the one that's just northeast of Varnak will attempt to make an attack. You're flat-footed against this attack since
yes,
you're
because
currently being
I'm
flanked.
flanked. Yes.
And it's going to get a 12 to hit.
No.
It's going to try it again. Gonna get 19 to hit
19 does hit.
on your flat-footed. Okay. So he's going to attach to you and use his third action to blood drain, and it's going to be 3 damage on that. You're still drained 1, but now you're going to have that persistent 1 bleed damage again, and that's its turn. And Daru, you're up.
Watch this, old man. And I swing at the one right in front of me. I action point it.
Can't look bad in front of the old man, right? You
then I
smash this one completely
friggin'
out of the air.
Whip out a star knife and fucking yap the other one. Dang it.
Throw the star knife and it misses. It goes into the woods.
I'm gonna go get that old man.
Nice throw.
You can't even see it. I hit it.
What?
Square in the head. I throw the dead corpse of the bloodsucker at him.
Oh man. All right, then that one, the one that you just tried to hit, is going to attempt to attach itself to you.
I mean, that
Well,
one
I
doesn't
killed
say
that
it's
one.
dying, so
Oh, that's the one you died. That's right. Never mind. He's dead.
that's,
Now
the
it's
one,
for next turn.
that's the one you died.
That's the one you died. There's only one left now. You guys are making quick work of these things. But Varnak, you're up.
Okay, Varnak will swing with his battle axe.
That's
I will
it.
get a total of a 20 to hit,
That's definitely a hit.
and we'll slash him with that for 8 damage.
And you cut it right in half.
Nice.
Pretty easy battle for just 2 of you.
Well, when you've got this rugged champion on your team, how can anything go wrong?
Also, that was a level 1 encounter. You guys should have done that last level. I still think it wouldn't have been difficult.
Not with 20s.
Oh, I get a nat 20 on my persistent damage.
Nice. So you take that second point of persistent damage.
I run into the woods pretending like I'm chasing one more bloodsucker to get my star knife back.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, how good of a morning walk was that, Pops?
We're not done yet. Shit.
I just start walking back to town.
Hey, don't forget me. Don't
Or
leave
if you
me.
no, I'm just... Alright, I'll continue my jaunt, but I'm gonna speed it up a little bit.
Kind of
I'm
start
jogging with this guy right
now.
now.
I'm fucking sick of this shit.
Oh, I make sure Varnak's good and be like, make sure he's not bleeding anymore.
Yeah.
And I pat him on the back with a quick little lay on hands. Quick little 6 HP.
Right on.
For the drained
Thank you.
only goes away after you get like a full 8 hours rest.
Oh, healing doesn't prevent it?
Nope, the drained stays.
Actually,
I just read it.
well, I think this particular
But yeah, the specific
Oh.
overrules the general. So if the creature has a different,
a creature that had its blood drained by a bloodseeker is drained 1 until it receives healing of any
Oh.
kind or amount.
Nice.
well,
So
I just received healing, so
that would cancel out this particular ability. Yes.
Nice.
Daru's trotting the old man along. Not so fast.
He's still trying to tell the story. He's just, oh, this is where.
Varnak will take 10 minutes to try to heal himself, though. Quick.
Right at the Gazra shrine.
Yeah, right at the shrine.
Okay. Get a 16.
And I get a 16, which is enough. So
Nice.
we'll get, was it
Get that
2d?
full HP. I said, I hope you get full with the 2d8.
Just barely.
That
Get
was it.
more.
There you go. As you're going along the path.
I start doing some wheelies.
Oh, jeez, young man.
You need some energy.
I'm too old for this shit.
Alright, I'll slow it down. I gained enough time from that fight. I was just trying to make up the time we lost.
Just get up time for the fight. Actually, your little jaunt there. You pass quite a few farms here. You start to come here at the way south east side of town, and there's a big hill off of the south side of the road here on the left side of the road, and what looks like to be like the burnt remains up top. Targan looks up and he goes, "That's where old Etrin lived."
Old Etrin, huh?
Yeah, Etrin spent his whole fortune to found the city, town.
Do they call
Hovel.
you? Do they start your name by old?
No,
No.
they do a
cane him.
Sure you could.
Nah, I could still cane with the best of them. He smacks you in the back of the leg with his cane. See? Nah, Etrin. He points up to the hill. It's a pretty steep hill. He goes, built his home right at the top of the tallest hill in town and started on fire. And he was too far away from the river. No one could get the buckets up the hill in time. They all died.
Does this amuse you?
Yeah, that's why we call the town Etrin's Folly.
That's classic. Thought we called it Plaguestone.
Bad memories. You start taking them off in the last leg. Take it right here. Let's go back to town. As you start taking him along, falls asleep for the last little leg.
Oh, we're speeding back up then.
The walk probably took you a couple of hours. When you get back to the feed mill, Dalma's waiting outside. Oh, Daru, perfect. Perfect timing. Father, your lunch is ready. What? Oh, it took too long. I'm late for lunch. Dalma's like, don't worry about him, Daru. Thank you very much. She goes behind and takes the wheelchair from you, and she rolls him inside. Father, we'll get you some lunch. I have. Amora made you some delicious turnip. Her voice fades out.
Bye, old man. Just let me know when you want to go for another ride. I do go to
Bloodseekers.
Plum, though, because he's the one I know that's halfway interested in this investigation with me. And I speak to Plum. What's up, Plum?
Hello, friend Daru.
Tell him about the witch. You're going to have to catch me up on the names again. It was like Vern.
Silwith and her daughter Vilry.
I'd like to investigate Silwith's old home in the north. It seems her daughter's name was Velry. You know, that it's not obvious, but that is a V.
Well, it's at least a lead, which is more than we have right now, so...
And she was... Her mother, like, messed with alchemical stuff, so it's possible...
Well, I
old
think
man
that's...
was blaming her for the plague, but it could be she was... I don't know. He's old man.
Well, it sounds like you recovered some good information and a good place for us to start.
I want to kind of find out how the characters are feeling about the situation, about where you're at right now, what your characters think about what's going on. Just want to do that. So, Plum, how's Plum feeling about the situation right now?
So annoying. Just so annoying. Everything just keeps getting piled on, and all he wants to do is just be on his way on this journey, and things just keep happening. He's only very mildly interested in determining what's happening. He doesn't care too much, but at least as long as he's stuck into it, he might as well try and take some interest in it. Mostly what he's hoping to get out of it is maybe some money. I mean, he's glad that we've come across these stolen goods or black market goods. He's definitely going to take those and try and turn a profit. And maybe he can come across some other stuff and try and turn a profit. He would love to buy a Miklik ship with Vorn and Daru.
What about Daru? Where's Daru at right now?
I don't know. I just, like, pushed an old man around so you could say things are very uneventful here. And now these guys won't let us leave because of literally nothing we did except kill the guy. Yeah, I'm about ready to just I'm gonna become the new captain of this goddamn cart thing, and we're just leaving. We're almost there.
Now that you've told me what Spencer thinks, tell me what Daru thinks.
You know, he just wants to make sure everything's okay. I'm really happy that the old man was able to give him the information he needs to make sure that we can bring this place to justice, you know? Like, it's just heart-wrenching.
So then that'll bring me over to Vorn. Where's Vorn at right now? What does Vorn think about the situation? How does Vorn feel?
He doesn't know there's a situation. I don't think he really understands that. He's just sad Miklik's dead.
So Vorn's going through his grieving process.
He still doesn't really know what the fuck's happening, though. He spent most of his adventure drunk. Like,
That's true. Like, honestly, this adventure's been like, what? Maybe 72 hours? Maybe? Probably not even long. It's been very short. And Vorn has been drunk pretty much the whole time.
That's a good point.
he thinks we're still sightseeing. There's a cool cave.
Well, that's why you originally got on board the wagon.
Yeah.
And how about the newcomer? Where's the newcomer at character-wise? Seeing the party interact with the townsfolk and seeing some of the leftovers from one of their combats, for example.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say exactly what he hasn't had a lot of time to really gel with these guys yet. He definitely thinks they're an odd group, and while he doesn't he's not necessarily here for the town. He's more here for Nawala. He feels like these guys are even less here for the town than he is. He's really interested in trying to figure out what's going on with this blight thing. So that's what he is going to be spending his time looking for.
Well, thank you everybody for sharing. You can all sit down now. What does everybody do in the evening after Daru gets back with Delma's father, Targan?
Is there anything else to do in this town other than go to the feed mill?
Probably go help some of the turnip farmers farm.
Nope, good on that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure your only option is the feed mill there, buddy.
Then I guess I'll go to the feed mill and hang out with any of my compatriots who are there. Vorn's at least fun.
He's something.
Be there.
What about Varnak? What were you doing?
I think knowing that we were supposed to meet her pretty early, he'd probably go into town just to kind of make sure that when it came time to do that, they were ready to go.
That makes sense. Okay.
He doesn't think they're gonna be.
What about Daru?
I'm still just really taken back by my walk, so I'm gonna take a nap.
Just gonna go to bed.
Just a little nap. I'm not going to bed early. What time is it?
At 4 o'clock.
Yeah, a little afternoon snooze.
All right. The mayor also fell asleep in the cart on the way in, so yeah. Vorn, what are you doing?
Vorn's most likely passed out drunk.
Okay. Would you know where?
Vorn doesn't know where, so I don't know where.
Oh, if Vorn's not at the feed mill, then that's what one will do. We'll go try and find Vorn.
You're probably gonna have to go find him.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. If he's not at the feed mill, I'll go try and find him, and then at least wake him up enough to get back to the feed mill, so at least he can keep me entertained while he's passed out drunk.
Is there a grid map of the town that we can roll and see what quadrant Vorn is?
Just to get an idea.
I'd love to roll that.
Yeah, we can do that. Why not?
There is definitely a map of the town.
Yep. Here it is. Feed mill's the big building in the middle next to the Plaguestone. Go ahead and roll a D percentile.
28.
Plum, you're kind of walking around looking for Vorn. You get all the way through town, about maybe 2 hours through searching through alleys and on the ground. You don't find him anywhere. So you decide, I'll wander to the edges of town, right? I'll see if maybe he's someplace else. So you wander north a little bit and give me a perception check.
I got a 22.
So, nice. As you're wandering off, just as you leave the outside of town, wandering north, you think to yourself, well, this is a waste of my time, isn't it? So you turn around and you see right off in the area to the west of the main road going north, this little copse of trees that flows next to the river. Vorn, in his drunken state, decided that he needed to sleep where he always sleeps to feel better, and that's in the trees. So Vorn has stumbled out there, and you hear him very loudly snoring from that copse of trees.
Sounds about right. I will go approach Vorn. Hey, Vorn! Hey, Vorn! Get up! I'm bored!
Go ahead and just give me a flat DC 5 check.
How about a kick him check? How about I make an unarmed attack to do subdual damage?
Just skip right to that? Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not going to actually try and hurt him.
I'm okay with that. Go for it.
Dude, my ability to actually hit anything is so abysmal.
Vorn, roll a D20.
I'd probably critically fail and break my foot or something.
12.
Yeah, Vorn, you can you hear him and you're able to wake up.
Okay.
You're in a lucid state for the moment.
What do you want, you fucking pirate?
Varn, I'm so barred. Let's go to the feed mill and have a few. On me.
I feel like I roll over and an empty bottle falls off. Just, okay. Out anyways.
Perfect.
All right. You guys get back to the feed mill. Daru, it was a nice long nap. You'd be more tired walking the old man around than you thought you'd be. Maybe it's more emotional exhaustion than it is physical exhaustion. Either way. But 2 hours later, after you laid out for your nap, you wake up.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to get myself some turnips.
So, Daru, you kind of walk into the feed mill just as you see Plum dragging Vorn in by his sleeve. What do you all do?
Let's go find a table together.
There's an open table. Easily. There's plenty.
Where's Vernak? Is Vernak around?
Varnak would probably show up early evening.
When I see Varnak show up, I call to him and wave him over, see if he wants to join us. Maybe he has some interesting things to do or say.
I mean, if he sees Plum wave him over, he'll come over.
We're all getting drunk here together, Varnak. Care to join?
I can sit with you.
All right. What, you're not a drinker?
No, not a drinker. I think I told you that already.
Yeah, seeing if maybe you changed your mind.
No. Cloud's your judgment.
I also want to point out that I am absolutely not drinking the turnip ale. I'm just asking for like an empty cup, and I'm pouring my Keonan wine into it.
Trin is serving you tonight, and she gets everybody's drink order. They know you have a tab.
I get the drinks tonight because I said I would.
Varnak just orders some tea.
Okay.
To thank Varnak for helping me with the skaters.
So, Varnak, what's your story? Where are you from? Who are you?
Name's Varnak Flameheart. I'm from
a mountain somewhere, I'll bet.
Yeah, well, you'd be right. Come from a family of foragers. Wasn't my calling, though, so I was more into the exploring, and I left the mountains pretty early, and that's how I became more into the woods. Just, I know, kind of weird for a dwarf, but started fighting in the Goblin Blood Wars. It's a nasty bit of business, that. Ended up here. Kind of keeping an eye on Nawala, making sure she's okay. Don't tell her I told you this, but her arm's not good. No, she tries, but don't like the thought of leaving her alone too long.
Well, that's very noble of you. Very noble. And so how did you come to be in the company of that Nawala?
That's quite literally what I was in. I was in her company. We were in a unit together. Didn't know her before the Goblin Blood Wars, but there was an accident that caused the injury to her. Sometimes the reason I stick with her is sometimes I feel like if I would have been there to help, she wouldn't have gotten injured. But that's a story for another day.
That's tremendously sad. Let's have a drink.
Still not drinking.
Trin comes and brings you some refills.
I'll have one for you, friend. And I'm sure Vorn will probably have two.
At least.
So yeah, I suppose I think we, or at least Plum would, enjoy the conversation for the evening. He'd pet insert name here and feed him some crackers, and head on up to bed.
All right. I'm gonna call him Parody until we have a name, because
right.
insert name here is driving me bonkers. I'm just gonna call him Parody.
Is that parody or parody?
I'm just saying Parody.
That's a good name.
Conversation goes into the night. It gets pretty busy throughout the night. Everybody's starting to calm down a little bit after all the craziness that happened. Dalma's got the place cleaned up again. It's a good, quiet, not really quiet, a little raucous, but it's a good night. As evening comes along, you guys would, I'm assuming, choose to retire. Okay.
Yeah, Varnak will stay in the inn.
Okay. So then you're all going to be in the same loft then. Everybody gets a really good night's of sleep tonight. Vorn, it doesn't take much. Trin would suggest to you, maybe just go to sleep tonight, honey. Yeah, it does kind of sound like a good idea, right? So you go and get some actual sleep. Everybody wakes up. Varnak wakes up before anybody else does. Everybody else is still sleeping. Varnak, it's just before dawn.
Yeah, if it's seeming like nobody else is getting up, he will go around to each of them, starting with Plum probably, because Plum's talked to him the most. And he seems like maybe Plum can Born to do. So he'll go to Plum and remind him that we're supposed to be meeting Nawala at dawn.
Plum in a haze as he's waking. Aye, Captain. Yeah, I'm getting up. I'm up. I'm awake. Yes, sir. He and Parody are ready to go.
He's leaving the other guys sleeping.
And I'll help Varnak wake up everybody else too.
Yeah, I ask him to wake up Vorn, and I'll go try to wake up Dart.
I wish I had taken Create Water as a cantrip. I'd just like create water over Vorn's head.
In the morning, Varnak, you know that you're gonna need to get out on the road here pretty quickly in order to meet up with Nawala.
Yeah, so I'll marshal him, get him going, point him in the right direction. Like, okay, let's go.
So you guys go back to the site of your entrance into the Etrin's Folly area, where you came across the wolf pack, Nuala's there, and she's got her hood up. As you approach her, she goes, "Well, are you ready to go?"
Yeah, I'm ready.
Come, follow me.
I think they're as ready as they're gonna be.
She nods at you, Varnak. So you guys start going through the woods here. Now, she might follow some game trails here and there, but they're pretty thick woods. After about, I'd say, an hour's worth of travel, you start to notice that the woods themselves are getting weird coloring. Like there's bark peeling off from strips from trees, sections where there's just leaves missing on branches. You see a couple of really obviously diseased trees. Nuala says, "We're starting to step into the blight."
So there's an actual zone that's like the blight?
Well, I wouldn't say it's one zone necessarily. There are several
Pockets.
large swaths of land that are sick.
All right, well, I follow. Actually, you know what I'll do? How high are we in dense canopy? I don't know how to say
Dense canopy for sure. Yeah.
Okay, so Parody could not fly around in here.
No, I would say not. Like he could probably burst through the trees. I mean, he's a good flyer. He's not a poor flyer. He could probably find his way through. It just would be, I guess, the air equivalent of greater difficult terrain.
Sure. Yeah, nonetheless, I think I'll have him go up, maybe even above the trees, and just kind of fly around and keep an eye and see if he senses any danger.
David, for my purposes,
yes.
What
You're gonna ask me about empathetic link?
Yeah, I am. I'm gonna ask you about how Parody, if at all, communicates back to you.
It can communicate empathetically with you as long as it's within 1 mile of you, sharing emotions. It doesn't understand or speak languages normally, but it can gain speech from a familiar ability. So I have not had my parrot gain speech. So as long as he's within 1 mile, we can share emotions.
Got it.
Is that like little emojis popping up over his head?
That's exactly what we do. We're actually just texting each other back, but only in emojis.
Holy shit. I just figured out how to portray the empathetic link. I have such a hard time with this sometimes. Fantastic.
It's emojis.
Just emojis. Something clicked for me. You get an eggplant emoji.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's just the fucking eggplants back and forth.
As soon as Parody breaches the canopy and gets a little bit of height over the trees, the first thing that you get from Parody is just shock
of how bad it looks.
That's what I'm thinking. Well, I'll keep that in mind.
The next thing you're gonna get is uneasiness. It's a light uneasiness. Like, yo, we're going into that? Okay. Sort of uneasy.
Quiet. Too quiet.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the emoji with just the eyes wide and no mouth, just like. Mm-hmm.
After walking for about another 5 minutes, Parody's unease starts to grow a little bit. Nuala stops you and says, "I will leave you here. Varnak and I have not had a chance to explore this deep into the Blight. We know that there are dangerous predators that are here. However, he knows the game trail that you will take to get into this den. This is where I believe this pack of wolves that accosted you on the road came from."
It was a caustic accostation.
Sure. Varnak and I were able to track the wolves from that back to here. If you follow this game trail in, you should get to the den. Please investigate what you find. See if you can find out where this blight comes from.
Many of the sounds you heard in today's episode were provided by Sirenscape. Check them out at Sirenscape.com. Thanks for joining us here at MNmaxed. We hope you do so again next week as we continue our adventures into the Pathfinder Second Edition and the Fall of Plaguestone. Until then, we hope you have many great adventures of your own.